welcome to Vision of Asia, the news you can trust and events that move and celebrate our very own South Asian community. I am Priyanka Chopra coming to you from our ITV Gold studio in New Jersey. In the headlines today, Russia invades Ukraine in Europe's darkest hours since World War II. Enforcement Directorate actions in Maharashtra meant to influence Uttar Pradesh polls, says Mayawati on Nawab Malik's arrest. Bill Gates louts India's commitment to global health. Fuel prices spike amid Ukraine crisis, with some markets hovering near $5 a gallon. In our feature today, we cover how blockchain is fueling the world of Bollywood's NFTs. Amitabh Bachchan's starrer Jund trailer promises an engaging sports drama. Best to take time to Google my name. Priyanka Chopra reacts to Rosie ODonnell's apology. Russia invades Ukraine in Europe's darkest hour since World War II. Russian forces invaded Ukraine by land, air, and sea on Thursday in the biggest attack by one state against another in Europe since World War II. Russian missiles rained down on Ukrainian cities, and Ukraine reported columns of troops pouring across its borders into the eastern Chernihiv, Kharkiv, and Luhansk regions. Russian troops also landed by sea at the port cities of Odessa and Mariupol in the south. Explosions were heard before dawn in the capital, Kyiv, a city of 3 million people. Gunfire rattled, sirens blared, and the highway out of the city choked with traffic as residents fled. Black smoke rose over the headquarters of Ukraine's military intelligence after an explosion in Kyiv near midday. The assault followed weeks of fruitless diplomatic efforts by Western leaders to avert war and realize their worst fears about Russian President Vladimir Putin's ambitions. Russia treacherously attacked our state in the morning as Nazi Germany did in the World War II years, tweeted Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky. As of today, our countries are on different sides of world history. Russia has embarked on a path of evil, but Ukraine is defending itself and won't give up its freedom no matter what Moscow thinks. He called on Ukrainians to defend the country on its cities, streets, and said arms would be given to anyone prepared to fight. He also urged Russians to take to the streets to protest against their government's actions. European Union Foreign Affairs Chief Joseph Borrell said, "These are among the darkest hours of Europe since the Second World War." Initial reports of casualties were unconfirmed. Ukraine reported at least 8 people killed by Russian shelling and 3 border guards killed in the southern Kherson region. Ukraine's military said it had destroyed 4 Russian tanks on a road near Kharkiv, killed 50 troops near a town in Luhansk region, and downed 6 Russian warplanes in the east. Russia denied reports its aircraft or armored vehicles had been destroyed. Russian-backed separatists claimed to have downed 2 Ukrainian planes. In a televised declaration of the war in the early hours, Putin said he had ordered a special military operation to protect people, including Russian citizens, subjected to genocide in Ukraine, an accusation the West calls absurd propaganda. And for this, we will strive for the demilitarization and denazification of Ukraine, Putin said. Russia cannot feel safe, develop, and exist with a constant threat emanating from the territory of modern Ukraine. All responsibility for bloodshed will be on the conscience of the ruling regime in Ukraine. Enforcement Directorate action in Maharashtra meant to influence Uttar Pradesh polls, says Mayawati on Nawab Malik's arrest. Bahujan Samaj Party Supremo Mayawati on Thursday morning said that it's very unfortunate that whatever is happening in Maharashtra is aimed to influence the assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh. Mayawati's statement came after the Enforcement Directorate on Wednesday arrested Nationalist Congress Party leader and Maharashtra Minister Nawab Malik in connection with links with the underworld don Dawood Ibrahim and a money laundering case. It's very unfortunate that whatever is happening in the country in the name of terrorism and sometimes in the name of cases by investigation agencies in Maharashtra are aimed to influence the assembly elections in UP. People must be alert, tweeted Mayawati today morning. The Maharashtra unit of the BJP will hold a statewide protest on Thursday to demand the resignation of Malik. Malik has also been remanded to Enforcement Directorate custody till March 3rd in a money laundering case. Bill Gates louds India's commitment to global health. Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates, at a virtual event of the India-US Health Partnership Roundtable on Vaccine for All on Tuesday, said that India's three vaccines, Covaxin, Corbavax, and Covishield, were the products of partnerships that bridged sectors as well as borders. The Indian Embassy in the United States hosted this virtual event of the India-US Health Partnership Roundtable on Vaccine for All on Tuesday. Bill Gates appreciated India's commitment to global health and said that it's a shared ambition. Prime Minister Modi has talked about deepening India's commitment to global health by continuing to harness the country's science and technology talent to advance. Prime Minister Modi has talked about deepening India's commitment to global health by continuing to harness the country's science and technology talent to advance scientific discovery and the creation of new products. This shared ambition and partnerships are central to making it a reality, he said. He said that the Quad country partnership with BioE to produce over 1 billion vaccines is an example of how these partnerships can be scaled to support an equitable response, he added. This shared ambition and partnerships are central to making it a reality, he said. He said that the Quad country partnerships with BioE to produce over 1 billion vaccines is an example of how these partnerships can be scaled to support an equitable response, he added. Acknowledging India's unique contribution, he said accomplishments would have never helped so many people without India's unique contribution. Over last year, India delivered over 150 million doses of COVID vaccines to nearly 100 countries. At the same time, thanks to Indian vaccine manufacturers, almost every country in the world now is offering vaccines to protect children from diseases like pneumonia and rotavirus, which has been leading causes of child's death for decades, he added. Talking about the partnership between the government of India and his foundation, Bill Gates said, "Our foundation has partnered with the Indian government and the Indian private sector over the years on many successful vaccination campaigns and the provision of low-cost drugs to prevent and treat infectious diseases worldwide." Further, he stressed that everyone needs to come together to move forward. We are looking for opportunities to help develop mRNA capabilities across all of South Asia, East Asia, and Africa. We have learned a lot about how to do better going forward. One thing is clear, everyone, governments, communities, and the private sector needs to come together, he said. The event was hosted by Ambassador of India to the United States, Taranjeet Singh Sandhu, Bill Gates co-chair and trustee Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Representative Dwight Evans, Ms. Soumya Swaminathan, Chief Scientist, WHO, Dr. V.K. Paul, Member, Niti Aayog, Government of India, Professor Peter J. Hotez, Baylor College of Medicine, Houston, Ms. Karen Freeman, Acting Assistant Administrator, USAID, Professor Gagandeep Kang, Christian Medical College, Vellore, Board Member CPI, and Ms. Mahima Datla, CEO, Biological E. Hyderabad. Fuel prices spike amid Ukraine crisis with some markets hovering near $5 a gallon. Americans are paying nearly $1 more for a gallon of gas to roughly $5 in some markets than they did last year as the growing threat of war in the Ukraine moved oil prices higher. The US average for regular unleaded gasoline hit $3.53 gallon on Wednesday, according to AAA. That's a 21 cent higher than last month and a hefty jump from the $2.65 recorded a year ago. Oil prices climbed as the Russia-Ukraine crisis played out, pushing them within striking distance of $100 a barrel. They have eased slightly, with Brent crude, the international benchmark, trading Wednesday at roughly $97 a barrel, and West Texas Intermediate, the US benchmark, hovering about $92. But both are up about 40% from their early December low points. Analysts say any further aggression on the part of Russia could attract more sanctions from the United States and Europe, something that could disrupt Europe's energy supply and send price shocks across the globe. In the address Tuesday, President Joe Biden warned that sanctions would probably affect US consumers. Defending freedom will have cost for us as well here at home. We need to be honest about that, Biden said, but as we do this, I'm going to take robust action to make sure the pain of our sanctions is targeted at the Russian economy and not ours. Rounding out the 10 most expensive locations according to AAA, Hawaii, $4.51, Oregon, $3.98, Washington State, $3.98, Nevada, $3.95, Alaska, $3.85, New York, $3.75, Pennsylvania, $3.73, Washington, D.C., $3.72, and Arizona, $3.71. Although markets have typically shrugged off geopolitical tensions, the ongoing standoff on Ukraine's border has roiled markets the past month. Russia is responsible for about 10% of the world's oil supply, on par with the United States and Saudi Arabia. In our feature news, we cover how blockchain is fueling the world of Bollywood's NFTs. Bollywood celebrities and their inbuilt fan base are cashing in on the trend to create an industry dominated by Gen Z and millennial buyers. Whether or not you even know what an NFT is, there is no denying that the unique digital asset is disrupting the art world. These non-fungible tokens, which are essentially a valuable form of digital memorabilia recorded on a blockchain, popularized creators like Beeple and characters like CryptoPunks and Bored Apes to build a market worth an estimated $40 billion. So it's no wonder then that Bollywood, one of the world's biggest film industries, is rushing to cash in too. As celebrities across the globe get into cryptocurrency, iconic Indian actors including Amitabh Bachchan, Salman Khan, Sunny Leone, and Kamal Hassan have also launched their own NFT collections. And given that Bollywood is an industry revered by billions with a fandom often more OTT than the plotline themselves, some of these NFTs are now earning them big bucks. And it's also quickly capturing the attention of India's Gen Z, who are now looking at it as the new hype-driven side hustle, kind of like reselling sneakers and stock trading. Earlier, people would flex about owning a Rolex or driving a Bentley, but as we increasingly interact through digital mediums, even the flexing has moved to digital assets like NFTs. Ram Kumar Subramaniam, the founder of Guardian Link, a blockchain enabling platform that created Amitabh Bachchan's NFTs, is the very first in Bollywood. Amitabh Bachchan starrer Jund trailer promises an engaging sports drama. The trailer of the much-awaited Amitabh Bachchan starrer and Nagraj Manjule directorial Jund is finally out. The makers of the film released this trailer on Wednesday, 2 weeks after the release of its teaser. The trailer opens up with a bunch of slum boys chain-snatching, picking up fights, and making a ruckus in their slum area. Here is where Big B makes a casual and unassuming entrance with his distinct bass voice as the veteran coach, Vijay, who observes the slum children and sees a potential for them to change. The slum kids, initially adamant and uninterested in anything, face an unforeseen tragedy that changes them emotionally. The film is then about their journey of fighting against all odds with Big B as their football and life coach. Bachchan's character in an emotional scene says, "आप कहते हैं कि ये झुंड है, मैं कहता हूं कि ये हमारी national football team है. Even without many dialogues, Amitabh Bachchan, a veteran in his game, both on and off screen, conveys the majority of what he feels through his eyes. The trailer, which also features actors Akash Thosar and Rinku Rajguru, the pair who made their debut in Nagraj's 2016 Marathi box office hit Sairat, has many goosebump moments with the heart-pumping music of Ajit Atul, Nagraj's trusted collaborators when it comes to music. The film has been delayed for a long time, with its first look being released in 2020 and its release getting postponed due to the pandemic. The sports drama has been inspired by the life of Vijay Barse, the founder of the NGO called Slum Soccers. Jund is Nagraj Manjule's debut film in Hindi and has been slated for a theatrical release on March 4th, 2022.
मुझे लगता है कि इस गंदगी को आप इस कॉलेज कैंपस में ना लाए तो बेहतर है।
मुझे चिकना देख रहे। चल 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 चल। जानता नहीं तो मेरे को कौन है?
कॉलर छोड़ो पिच्चा।
नहीं छोड़ रहा, क्या करेगा?
I've been spending some time with these kids, and I can see them change.
विजय, ये सब करके आप क्या साबित करना चाहते हो?
कोटे कोटा बच्चे दिखा नहीं दे रहे।
तुमको क्या माल चाहिए क्या? गांजा?
तो क्या फुरफुर कर रहा है? इधर का खजाना वजाना गाड़ा है क्या?
अरे फ्री की के?
रोज का आना जाना रहेगा भाभी अपनी इधर। ओ भावना भाभी।
ठीक से बोलना भी सीख लें तो आप जो बोलेंगे वो करने के लिए तैयार हैं।
क्या अंकल?
केड़ा समझ रहा क्या?
पैसा देने के लिए है नहीं मेरे पास।
शक्कर के डब्बे में भी देख ले।
हाँ?
काय झालं?
आप जो कह रहे हैं मैं जानता हूँ, लेकिन ये लड़के अच्छे हैं।
बेटा अगर हट गए ना मेरी तो महंगा पड़ेगा देखो।
क्या महंगा पड़ेगा?
ये सब बंद करो। ये आपसे नहीं होगा। पूरा कॉलेज का झोपड़पट्टी बना दिया है।
उसको बोलो ये फुटबॉल बहुत अच्छा खेलती है।
ये पूरे बच्चे झोपड़पट्टी के हैं।
जी सर।
ये लोग फुटबॉल का नाम बदनाम कर रहे हैं।
मैं सुधरना चाहता तो सुधरने क्यों नहीं दे रहे मेरे को?
ये बच्चे एक पत्थर मारकर सुअर को मार गिराते हैं। इनके हाथों में पत्थर की जगह अगर एक गेंद थमा दी जाएगी तो ये विश्व के सबसे तेज गेंदबाज बन सकते हैं। आप कहते हैं कि ये झुंड है, मैं कहता हूं कि ये हमारी नेशनल फुटबॉल टीम है।
चल। क्या करेगा?
ओ सर, ये देखो ये क्या बोल रहा?
भारत मतलब?
Best to take time to Google my name. Priyanka Chopra reacts to Rosie O'Donnell's apology. After comedian Rosie O'Donnell issued a public apology to Priyanka Chopra for falsely identifying her as the daughter of renowned author Deepak Chopra, the Mary Kom star expressed her views on the same. Taking to Instagram, Priyanka penned a lengthy statement in which she called out the comedian for referring to her as something Chopra and the Chopra wife. I have never taken myself so seriously to think everyone would know who I am or my work for that matter. But if you wanted to make a public apology for a very awkward private encounter, I think probably best to take the time to Google my name before doing it or even try to reach out directly, she wrote. She added, "We all deserve to be respected for our unique individuality and not to be referred to as someone or wife, especially in a sincere apology. If we can learn to respect our differences in an authentic way, The world we raise our children in will be amazing. For the unversed, a few days ago, Rosie took to Instagram and TikTok to share 2 videos in which she revealed that what happened when she ran into Priyanka and her husband Nick Jonas. In the first video, Rosie said that she and her son and his girlfriend spotted Nick and Priyanka out on a date. Seated next to us was Nick Jonas and his wife, Samvan Chopra, which I always assumed was Deepak Chopra's daughter, she said in the video. While talking to Priyanka, she said she knew her dad. She was like, "You do? Who is my dad?" I'm like, "Deepak." She was like, "No, and Chopra is a common name." I felt so embarrassed. Rosie said in the video and asked if she was the only one who always thought Priyanka was Deepak's daughter. Rosie's apology clearly did not go down well with Priyanka. In her post, Priyanka even reiterated that not everyone that shares the same last name is related to one another. As I have said before, not all Chopras are related to the great Deepak Chopra, just as not all Smiths are related to the legendary Will Smith, she concluded. And that's a wrap on Vision of Asia tonight. Send us your suggestions and community news that you would like us to cover for our print and television coverage at events@itvgold.com. Follow us on our Facebook handle at ITVGold. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and pick up a free copy of Desi Talk if you are in the tri-state area or in the Chicago area for news on community, entertainment, and events in US and India. You can also read the News India Times newspaper online at www.newsindiatimes.com or subscribe to the hard copy by calling 212-675-7515. And this is Pia Jyoti Kachru saying goodbye.